Hi, I'm Atdhe. Welcome back to IoT Forensics. So over this recording, we're going to show how to run environments within the virtual machines, IoT environments, so a particular protocol and a particular gateway acting as a broker that would collect all data that would come from sensors. But in this case, we're going to run things virtually, and we're going to show how those things would be running virtually. What you are seeing here is an Ubuntu virtual machine that we have established as a gateway broker that uses the MQTT protocol, and it has the sensors that would generate data and would send backward as a subscriber to a publisher that is a gateway. All those data would be collected by this MQTT broker by using the MQTT protocol. So first, we want to make sure that within the terminal, opening a terminal, and we want to make sure that things are running. So first of all, the services. The services of the MQTT, so MQTT broker is running, and for that MQTT is called Mosquitto. So Mosquitto would be that. For the purpose of better having and checking those for you, those steps, I documented all those steps, and here I would have, and I would use those. So system CTL status mosquitto.service would be that showing us the MQTT broker actual status. So we are seeing that is running. If it's not, we might be using that. So we might be using, instead of status, start or restart or shut down or whatever we want it to do as a part of that action step, that we want to make sure that broker is running. Since it's running, so we can see and view this MQTT broker by using two different tools. One is MQTT Explorer, so this one. So you can connect to that local Mosquitto. In this case would be MQTT connection named local Mosquitto, and is running localhost on port 1883. And you could just connect that one if you haven't established any type of authentication or anything. And MQTT broker works that way, that has topics. So it will have topics like, in this example, IoT and one device that is subscribed to this publisher. And you're seeing that the data are coming. So the sensor is on and the data are coming. And how we make this to happen. So, and then the second way would be us for viewing would be over this MQTT X. Much more advanced and enhanced view that would provide the same access to the MQTT broker, but we're using different tools. But let's see how this thing would run and how those devices would. So we have a publisher and a subscriber, so that those would be two different Python scripts that were built to act as a broker and an IoT device that would subscribe to this publisher. So we want to make sure, first of all, that we would run the publisher, and we would use this command particularly because this command would make that publisher to run continually and would never stop. So we put it within the within that script, so that thing would run forever. Let's see that. So this would be here, publisher, right click, and we're gonna see that. So it's a range of 1 and a lot of zeros. And this way is running, but we want to know how this thing is running. So, and we haven't been able to run. Why is that? Because we are not within the path that we want it to be. So where this would be that. So it would looking on a desktop and then lab 2 folder, and this would be the place where we would be able to run this. And now we're going to run. So this would be running. And we're going to open a new terminal window that we're going to see and run the subscriber. So we're going to use a Python version 3 and subscriber script that would run the IoT sensor. So you would seeing the readings of IoT device. So it's doing those readings, and all those readings are coming to this topic that is publishing that, and this sensor is subscribing and sending those data. So this would be one way of showing things and viewing and running. And then on top of this, you can do whatever you want as a part of IoT Forensics. Maybe you want to capture this whole network activity, those logs. Maybe you wanted to capture the memory, the volatile data, and whatever you wanted to do, you can capture those and later on investigate. That we're going to show in the following videos that we're going to record as a demonstration. Let's assume that we wanted to capture this traffic, and how we're going to do that. So there are two different tools, TCP dump and Wireshark. Well-known Wireshark, well-known sniffer. Its powerful feature would be the filters. The filters that we're going to be able to investigate and analyze further that traffic that we capture. So we have opened the Wireshark here. So Wireshark would be shown here. And what we are seeing in the first place would be to see that the network interfaces that are active, that are listed here. So since we would be using, I think, the first one, let me check that one, yes. No, the second one, so this is connected, ENP0OS8, so we're going to select the second one, and whenever we would click this button and start capturing packets, that would start to capture the packets. Or we could do any. Any means that anything that is running and is active, we would be able to capture. And you see the traffic is coming. So we are capturing right now, and everything that we are capturing, we are able to save within a file. So that would be, so you're seeing the MQTT and TCP. So MQTT is that traffic that we are seeing here. A subscriber, an IoT device to a broker over the MQTT protocol. And that would be the way that we would be capturing this network log. And whenever we are done, we think that would be enough for us. We would stop this thing, and then we would file and save this as, and that would be saved as a PCAP file. That way we would be able further to investigate. So let's assume that this would be we would be naming this MQTT traffic capture. I'm going to save it as a PCAP file, so that later on that you can use that within a TCP dump to run and view this and extract those logs. And whenever we would check, there would be the file that we already created. So this would be one way. Or if you want to further investigate this within a Wireshark, you can do that by filtering, using filters. MQTT in this example, since we have that traffic. So what needs for us to type is just MQTT, and that would be filtering that, or TCP, that would be filtering based on the TCP traffic. And we will show, and we would get to know more on each packet, what was going on, and the value that has been sent over this packet.